Hey golfers, welcome to the Second Swing YouTube Live today. A little unique today, we've got Danny and myself. We're going to be talking about fitting topics, but also we're going to get the chance to test the new Callaway ST Rogue equipment out. I'm very, very excited to do a live testing because, let's face it, one of these drivers is going to go in my bag in 2022. So it's going to be very, very exciting. So it's been a great time of the year. I mean, I've watched a couple of our videos go up on our YouTube channel, and it's been great to get the feedback on not only Callaway, but also TaylorMade, and we also have Cobra coming out with something new as well. So it's always exciting in 2022 when new equipment comes out. We get the chance to test and see how they perform.
Yeah, it's been really, really interesting seeing kind of not only the shapes, aesthetics of what's going on, but also what has changed from year to year. We're updating the Callaway Rogue in their family. That's what we're going to talk a lot about today. But the previous generation Rogue had a little bit different shape than this one too throughout the entire heads, all four heads. So really want to kind of dive into that today, look at the differences, talk tech a little bit. That's why you and I are both on here, talk a little bit of tech, geek out a little bit over the new product, and ultimately figure out which one's going to go in your bag. Yeah,
I mean, it's unique. We've got 4 different drivers this year from Callaway. Callaway's always had 1 or 2 extra different models there, but just at a fitter, it's so exciting because we can really help fine-tune the golfer and get them really dialed in.
Absolutely.
So Callaway really help us out there too. So let's talk about these 4 different models before we start testing.
Okay.
So first off, we still have the Rogue Max. That's gonna probably more fit into still the majority of golfers.
Yeah.
High MOI, very, very forgiving. Before I get started here, I actually wanted to talk about Rogue. What does ST stand for?
Sure.
It stands for speed tuned, is what it is. So I mean, you've got the tungsten speed cartridge.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing here too.
Yeah, and with that cartridge, it's not the same weight with every head. We've noticed that too. I mean, we're talking anywhere from 20 to 26 grams in the back. A lot of manufacturers are throwing a lot of weight up there, lower and further back to raise the forgiveness level, which we all need. And then it comes down to your fitter on getting all the launch and spin parameters down. So I'm glad that they're adjusting a swing weight for us. It's going to be the heaviest in the ST Max at 26, which is going to be the most forgiving for them. You would think heavier weight, more forgiveness.
Yeah, the more weight you have back, it's high MOI, and that's just a no-brainer. The others, we're talking about 23 grams, so it's not like it's not a lot of weight, but it's a little bit less weight back there, but more chance to push that weight in other parts of the club head to really fine-tune and lower that spin and increase ball speed. And I think you go at the other end of the spectrum, we've got this triple diamond LS model. That's exciting, as it's a slightly more appealing shape for the better player, 450 cc's. I think it's gonna be great in 2022 for Callaway, and it's gonna be interesting to see how many tour players put it in play, because it's not as forgiving. Because I know like the Max LS last year performed really well for golfers, but I think it's gonna be a good driver to really reduce spin.
I think so too, and in the fitting bays this year, the Epic Speed product, the triple diamond head from them, really didn't come off the shelf too much, just because the Max LS, the Max, did so well on being efficient on the spin and managing ball speed across the face for players. So, this year they're really trying to add more forgiveness in the lower spin line. So I think that's a possibility to grab that more off the shelf, put it in more players' hands, and ultimately we're going to find out how forgiving that thing is today.
Right. Yeah, and we still have your max forgiving, your Max D as well. So when we did initial testing, wow, was I getting the ball to turn over, and it's so easy to turn over. And once you start fine-tuning it with, obviously the weight's in the heel, but also you got those cogs where you can adjust upright. You can put +1, +2 degrees of loft. It's going to be really, really, it's going to fight for those slicers out there.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of tuning just down in the hosel this year, just due to the fact that we're losing the adjustable weight in the head. That's one of the biggest differences from the Rogue to the Epic line, is there's just that stationary kind of weight, the speed cartridge in the back now. There's no adjustable weight up there. The LS line, there's a 6-gram weight closer to the face, but that's all the weight we have to move around and play with.
Yeah.
So if players need all that adjustment with the CG, we might gravitate back towards the Epic. If not, then we're definitely going to lean pretty heavy on the Rogue ST family for them.
Right, and I'm going to be intrigued. You're talking about Max LS, how close it is to the Triple Diamond LS.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the Max LS is going to be a very low spinner as well. Probably a little bit more forgiving, like higher forgiveness.
Yeah.
But I think the Triple Diamond is going to be more workable for those golfers that really want to be able to shape shots.
Yeah, I think so too. When you look at kind of the Max LS, just the head shapes, the camber on the bottom sole, it's very similar across those three heads. Where it really changes is in the Triple Diamond, where it's kind of more rounded, less heel and toe relief. So it's we got to be more consistent coming through at impact there. But it's very interesting to see what they've done year to year, not only changing weight, but where it is. You talked about that. Cosmetics as well has a different look this year. I think it's going to be a popular look for a lot of manufacturers, kind of the matte black finish that we all love. But it should be interesting to hear the sound. That's what I want to really dive in on this year is sound of the Rogue stuff. We got to do more testing with the Stealth. I haven't heard that one yet. But this one should be definitely going in a lot of players' bags this year.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like that matte finish? I mean, when you're outside too, you don't have to worry about having to wear sunglasses on shiny days.
Right.
And a matte finish just reduces the glare overall. So we actually have 7 drivers in front of us here today. We've got the Epic line from last year, and we also have the Rogue ST line for this year. And I'm going to be hitting a lot of shots and comparing them and see how they all perform against each other here too. For testing today, Callaway, they have a couple of new golf shaft options here.
Yeah.
We're going to be using the Tensei AV series, the white. 65 grams of stiff. I also have an extra stiff. I also have a 75 gram X as well.
Got to be ready for that
I
one.
don't think I could hit that one as well, but we can definitely play around with the shafts a little bit here too and see how they perform. We do also have a couple of fairway woods, a couple of hybrids. We don't have everything yet. We're still waiting for our fitting components to arrive.
Right.
I know people are asking about the irons, Rogue ST irons. We haven't had the chance to get our hands on those yet. Very excited, and I think next couple of weeks is when we're going to start getting fitting components, and from not only Callaway but also TaylorMade as well.
TaylorMade too.
Yeah. So Stealth stuff's going to be, it's going to be fun. This is my favorite time of the year to test them against each other and see how they really perform.
Yeah, it's like a whole month long of Christmas for us, just unwrapping everything, looking at it, being excited, getting in TrackMan, and then really ultimately what's going to be the best player for that product too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then training all our fitters on the product too. So I mean, every one of our fitters at Second Swing, we go through the same training process. Learn about the equipment. It's just like I mentioned, awesome that we've got so many different options that we can really help the golfer fine tune what they need.
Absolutely. You ready for it?
Yeah, let me get warmed up a little bit here, and we'll hit some shots.
Okay.
Grab an iron and get loose here first.
Okay.
And then we got the Titleist RCT ball, new one here as well. I just got a 7-iron here for now as I'm getting warmed up. Feeling good. That first swing there was right on the money.
Imagine
Pretty much
that.
my numbers. Yeah.
Imagine that.
And as I'm warming up, just so people kind of know what I'm warming up, I just grabbed this off the shelf. This is just an old iBlade at Second Swing. We got a lot of great options, and I just happened to see this with the money taper shaft in there, and feels pretty good. So I just happened to grab this so I could find a 7-iron to warm up with.
Money shaft equals money shots, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, I'm bringing it up just because loft is going to be 34 degrees loft on this, so it's going to be very traditional to what I'm used to seeing.
Exactly.
So I'm not surprised that my carry was right around 180 yards.
Okay.
turn that one over just a little bit more. It's going to go a little bit further.
You working on anything in the off season? Just swing wise, flexibility wise, body wise? Are you working on anything there?
I've started working in the gym on stability, so my lower body stability. So I've been doing a lot of like step ups. So a lot of like even one-legged step ups to try and really get my lower body to be really nice and stable. I rolled my ankle a couple weeks ago, so that kind of put a dampener on that a little bit. But I've been working on lower body work, not so much upper body as much. I feel like, you look at like some of the golfers out there, like Tiger, for example, it's there for the show, essentially. So I don't really, it'd be nice to have, big pecs and everything like that.
Believe me, I know.
But it doesn't really help the golf swing.
No, it doesn't.
Golf swings with a lot of lower body stability. So that's what I've been working on. And, I'm excited to finally get that tuned in because it's something that I want to do for a long time.
Do you feel like it's going to help build speed as well, being able to use the ground a little bit more? I would expect more clubhead speed throughout the bag for you, but have you kind of documented any gains so far, just from start to where you are now with this fitness journey?
Yeah, I think I've picked up, without doing speed training, because I've been doing a little bit of that. I've probably picked up a couple miles an hour of club speed already.
Awesome.
But I think I've noticed just my ability to stay down in the golf swing, because my attack angle, I've been working on that a lot. A lot of that comes to sometimes that impact my lower body kind of goes forward this way a little bit, and then I come up on it. And it's my ability to actually stay in posture down by having a more stable lower body. I'd be able to get my attack angle to be a little bit more down. So that one, it was -2, but a lot of the times when I'm hitting and testing, it gets very close to neutral. And driver especially will notice my attacking will get 7 or 8 degrees up, which is not a bad thing. But with an iron, you don't want to be up. With a fairway wood, it's very, very hard to hit off the ground if you're hitting up on it too.
And that's why I can't play a 3-wood, because I have that same exact move where I'm inside and up, which is not a good recipe for a fairway wood. That's something I'm working on too. But I just wanted to kind of see where your head was at, what you're keying in on going into 2022 as far as your fitness journey.
So that I'm speed training. I'm gonna add that in with lower body stability as well. I got very, very close to 120 mile an hour club speed with driver last year. I think it was the auto flex shaft when I did that. I got 119.8. 180 ball speed. Who knows? It'd be nice to hit the ball further, but when I'm on the golf course, it'd be nice to know I can swing farther, faster, but not feel like I'm swinging out of my shoes. Is what it comes down to.
That's where that lower body work is really going to be big, because ultimately the more rotation you have in the lower and upper body, the faster you can move it. But again, you got to stay in balance too. So
staying in my posture, staying in balance is really important. So that's kind of what I've been working on. Stability wise, and then swing wise, talking about attack angle, I've been trying to work on feeling like my left shoulder kind of goes down a little bit more to try and get that attack angle down. The problem when I've been doing that is the dynamic loft. I still haven't quite figured out the sequence, because if I do that, my shaft actually leans even further forward.
Even more,
We'll notice that my dynamic loft with 7-iron a lot of times is low 20s. It's actually got it in teens when I've done that. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this, but also feel like it impacted it's not pushed as far
you're not
forward.
starting to tip back then and add more as well, because that can lead to a lot of inconsistency and be quite frustrating.
So sequence as well is something that I've been working on. But trying to decrease my attack angle with irons, and then the driver, I'm okay with it still hitting up on it.
Absolutely.
I'll get one more, and I'll see if I can get that attack angle down, just to kind of show what we're working on here before I jump to driver. So that last one was -1.8. So I feel like I'm trying to feel like my left shoulder leads the downswing. That one felt pretty good. So that was -3.6. So that's closer to where I'm trying to get there. And you'll notice actually I picked up a little bit more distance by doing that, even though the attack angle down.
I want to take a look just where that was. Curious.
So it's like 20.
We just talked about it, 20.7.
It's still pretty low. And that's why, as a little guy with my not limited, but I don't swing as fast as some other people that are taller and stronger than I. But that's why I can carry a 7-iron, a traditional loft, 185 yards. And then you get like a game improvement iron in my hands that's got
210.
26, 27 degrees. That's how I can carry it 220 yards. It's just dynamic loft and compression and like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm working on. It's so been a work in progress there for a while.
Yeah.
Ball striking has still been very good. And then short game putting, I'm actually about to do a putter fitting with Larry Bobka. So I'm excited to go through that process, and that'll be on the road to the PGA. We're gonna cover that.
Perfect.
Because I really haven't had a putter fitting. I just kind of grabbed something and just used it.
Right.
Transitioning from arm lock back to a standard one.
Ooh.
I really don't even know what I'm gonna do. So I'm open to ideas. I'm gonna give you one stat. I think everyone listening right now should listen to this.
Okay.
I read a tweet yesterday. There was one golfer on the PGA Tour that had over 30 putts per round in 2021 season.
Just one.
Just one. He doesn't have status in 2022. Right.
Okay.
Just one.
But
I think it was like
putts.
30.4 was his average. And my average was about 32, 33 around. So putting always gets so overlooked.
Yes.
You were talking between 27 and 30. All the golfers on the PGA Tour, is like, I think it's 196 on that stat. All below 30.
Yeah.
Minus one golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it doesn't matter how far you hit it if you can't put it in the hole. You
Right.
don't make birdies. That's the name of the whole game for us. So
I think the interesting thing with him too was, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but I mean, putting is just so important. But like his green regulation or green like strokes gained was like 5th on tour.
5th.
Yeah.
So he really struggled more so on the greens.
Because
then.
he was hitting it to
hitting
40,
them.
50 feet all the time.
Gotcha.
So there's something to be said about hitting the right quadrant on the green,
Yep.
as opposed to just hitting fairways and greens.
Love it.
Yeah. So. All right, let's go. Let's get to driver here and get started.
Okay.
What do you got put together here first?
I got the Rogue ST Max
Okay.
just set up neutral for us.
Perfect. 9 degrees, set up neutral. Do we have any comments or questions on that stuff that I was just kind of rattling on about there? I know I was rambling a little bit. Does anyone agree on that putting stat? How important putting is? And I'll say, putter fittings is so important, and people just don't come in and do it, and they want to come in for a driver fitting and want to hit bombs, but you really got to assess your short game.
First question I'm seeing, any word on whether Callaway is releasing new wedges or jaws for 2022?
I don't believe so. Not that I know of. I haven't heard anything or seen anything.
Right.
I would guess it's probably another season. I could be wrong, but I would guess that they're still within their season. They've got the full toe that came out towards the end of last year
Right.
in the higher lofted wedges.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to play around with that because I played the PM grind the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's a little smaller, more appealing look than the PM grind, but
Okay.
it's still got that crazy high toe look that
Okay.
not everyone likes, but it works.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Another one in regards to another brand, Titleist. Besides the SM9s that are going to be highly, highly talked about this year, anything new coming from the Titleist family? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it'll just be wedges.
Yeah.
That obviously SM9s. I think that's going to be probably mid-spring.
Probably.
I would probably guess.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to get our hands on them yet, so I'm excited because Titleist do a great job for wedges as a fitter. Once again, so many different options, bounce and grind options.
Sure. Sure. Well, let's get to work on the drivers.
All right.
Okay.
And we got the 65S.
Yep. Tensai white.
Tensai white. A little high on the face, but I love that miss because when I miss it, if I want to miss it, I want it to be slightly up high, slightly high toe. Because that's going to keep that spin rate down. Because it was a decent swing, but I know I left a little bit on the table.
Yeah. What do you think of the shape? Visually, this is the Rogue ST Max, so the more forgiving out of their lineup.
Yep.
Talk to me about the shape overall, aesthetics, because they have changed quite a bit.
Yeah, it's from heel to toe. I think it's going to be kind of the largest. Compared to the other models, it's going to be maybe not as tall.
Okay.
I think they're going to be a little bit taller with the Max LS and the triple diamond.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's forgiving. God, I love the matte finish. Just looking down at it, it just looks so clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But I'd say it's probably the most triangular of them as well. Looking down at it, it's like it's just big and forgiving is what it looks like.
Love it.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to inspire confidence, and I'm not going to miss it, which is good.
It's got a good sound to it too. It's
Yeah.
a little more muffled, just at least with my ears back here. A little bit more muffled from the Epic line, which we'd probably expect a little bit more carbon-based head with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, even that one being a little miss it, still great numbers there. A little more ball speed. Very straight.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the biggest thing, when hitting the max is, it's just the easiest to hit straight.
Right.
It's going to be probably 40 or 50% of the golfers will probably fit into this head because they just want to hit fairways.
Absolutely.
You're going to have guys that are going to fit into the Max D, which is going to be easier to draw and modifiable. But this is just the end of the day. This is probably the highest MOI and straightest one.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
You didn't even point out those club path and face angle numbers. I just took a peek there.
Haven't talked about it yet.
0.0, 0.1. Gotta love that. Won't do that again. Yep, so that one left face a little bit more open. Was it 2.5 degrees open? So naturally, it's going to fly just a little higher and curve
a
over to the
little
right.
bit more, but
and I know you put this in the SN setting.
Yep.
I play all my drivers upright.
Yeah.
I've always just preferred that look and that just playing a club just slightly more upright.
Well, let's actually do that. I mean, we left it at the neutral standard. Let's spin it into the upright setting.
Yeah, let's do that.
Throw a couple more in.
It just seemed like it was just sitting just a little bit flatter than what I'm used to seeing.
That's interesting. I mean, typically, I shouldn't say typically, but sometimes in the fitting bays, where players like to draw the ball like you and I do, a lot of fitters will jump right into, we got to flatten it out.
Yeah.
We got to go shorter, flatten it out, work on the starting line. But I'm the exact same way. I work the ball left or right to left. I want to see it toe up as well, just because I know it's going to protect me from the right side.
And it's not so much that I like to draw the ball. It's just like I hate that miss to the right.
Right.
I just want to avoid that with all costs because I know it's going to go shorter, and that one obviously was higher and shorter. I lost 10 yards on that shot.
Big time.
Alone just by missing it just slightly to the right.
Yeah. Okay. Loaded and ready.
All right. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've done so many club testing, but just noticing that little difference, it's good. It's good. Oh, that one drew a little bit more from me.
A little bit more toe side, probably.
Yeah.
Miss.
What was that? Face was almost a degree. I mean, it's just still a decent amount of curve. That had to be slightly toey because 140 feet of curve with face to path of -1.
Yeah, a little bit more gear effect going on there.
Yeah. As long as I stay away from that heel side of the club, I'm a happy guy.
Mm-hmm. Really good there. Really good.
Yep. 290 carry. It's pretty good. There you go. Spin stayed down on that one a little bit more. Because I was about to say, I've noticed with this one that spin rate, a couple of them are, you know, hover around that 2,500,
Right.
leaving a little bit of distance on the table. But that one was pretty good. Maybe toe strike. Just check out the hit locations just to see what I'm kind of averaging right now. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's where you want to hit it right there.
Right.
If you're not going to hit the middle of the face,
right,
that's going to help you out a lot.
Yeah,
so.
This was at neutral standard, so at the original Callaway position. Now we put it a little bit more up there, so
yeah,
I like that. Quite a bit better impact location than kind of medium on the head and kind of closer. So I like that. That'll keep the spin off it a little bit more, which I like to see as well.
2108. What was the other one at the before? 2197. So yeah, I dropped it a little bit. Yeah, and that's the same loft. Yeah, I like it.
Stuff. A couple extra yards in the air, which always helps, and definitely a big boost on the back end. I mean, we're talking 10, 11 yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking on sound, it's definitely, you know, we can hit maybe we'll hit the Epic here as well.
Yeah.
It seems quieter though.
It's very quiet.
It definitely seems a lot more muted and softer sound compared to last year's model.
Yeah. Is that something that for you it translates to feel off the face? If we lose that sound, I mean, does anything come out there for you personally?
I mean, yes, I think sound is fully feel. Like feel is, you know, what you hear at impact and how you're feeling at impact. And there's been a couple of Callaway drivers, they've been pretty loud. There's been a couple of other manufacturers also very loud, but I think sound, and we're seeing this with the Stealth driver this year too, is it's a lot quieter off the face, and I think people just prefer that as opposed to a loud bang off the face.
Okay.
You notice it more for sure in the fitting bay inside because you get that echo.
Right.
But it's there's something you said about a softer feel. I think it's the same thing with irons too. Like a forged feel is going to feel better than a cast feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's hit the Max kind of right behind it just to see.
So the Epic Max?
Yeah, the Epic Max. I'm going to put it just up into the upright setting, just right out of the gate.
Perfect. Yep.
I mean, biggest thing aesthetically, you can kind of see we're, again, with the Rogue family, we're kind of losing the adjustable weight capability, that moving the center of gravity around heel and toe side to manage ball speed a little bit. We're losing that with the Rogue ST line. So let's go back to the Epic Max. I'm curious to see if any of the guys viewing right now are going to be able to hear the difference.
Right. Yeah. One thing we notice here too, it doesn't have the sliding track on the back either.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. There's nothing there.
I don't know if that's going to have a difference in the sound or not, but it's we definitely kind of notice you don't have that sliding track there anymore.
Right.
I think end of the day, the Max is just designed to go straight and be forgiving anyway.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive in. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Just putting it down. Wow. There's a Max head here. All right. Let's talk about the two of them here.
Wow.
It's quite different. Yeah, the crown. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see it as shocked as I was there, but I do like the matte finish there too, and I've played a Callaway glossy look for a while too, and you get used to it. I think I can get used to that matte finish faster.
I think so too. It just looks like the Epic line is a little bit taller, kind of north and south on the face, where that weight is lower and further back and dragged a little bit further back in the Rogue ST family, which is similar to the Rogue line, a year behind as well.
Yeah.
Very similar kind of setup.
So I'm kind of looking here too, the back of the driver. You can see how it's raised as well. You can see that difference there. I'm sure that's for aerodynamics there as well. So you can kind of see that where the old model there was really nothing at all there too. So that's interesting to see the differences between those as well. Let's hit some.
HBs, high bombs coming up.
That's a different sound. I didn't hit that one as well.
Right.
There's a little high, tall again, leaving the face open.
Very different
But
sound.
that is loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now going. I knew it was softer, but I didn't realize it was that much softer.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic. Pretty dramatic.
Let's not leave the face open again. Yeah, it's loud. Did that pretty well.
But you know, one thing I am kind of noticing, just looking at our kind of standard stat lines up there, is the efficiency. You know, managing the ball speed across the face a little bit. First two with it going back to the Epic Max, 4.344. Same shaft, same setting, same length with the Callaway ST family. We didn't go lower than 1.47.
Yeah.
So it's managing, you know, that ball speed a little bit more with the Rogue ST family, which I love. I think that's going to be great for a lot of players, you know, especially with Titleist doing extremely well last year, managing ball speed across the face. Other manufacturers doing really well. I'm glad to see Callaway's investing quite a bit in that this year too.
Yeah. I feel like hit that last one pretty good there too,
Yeah.
but it's interesting that you said that smash factor being a little lower. Felt good. Definitely louder.
Yep.
There we go. Made me work hard to improve my efficiency on that one.
I knew I was flirting
Joys
with
of being a
4.9.
perfectionist, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the biggest difference is, yeah, it's sound.
Yeah.
And you know, sound is feel, and it's a lot louder, different and glossier finish with the older model,
Okay.
matte finish with the newer model.
Yeah.
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 And both feel just different in different ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with the louder sound, were you able to identify hit location just for you a little bit more?
Not as much.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was kind of interested to see that the efficiency jumping around a little bit.
Right.
I feel like they're all kind of the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I just want to take a look just
Yeah.
for my own.
and that one clearly at
curiosity
149 has got to be pretty close. But
here. Just a little bit higher on toe side, but
Yeah.
very similar.
yep,
Just a little bit higher up there. That's all.
yep.
Okay. Which one do you want to let go next? Do you want to go into the Max LS, or do
Yeah,
you
let's go
want
Max LS next. We can probably skip over the draw bias head.
Yeah.
We've seen. If you want to see that video, make sure you look at our swing report video of comparing the three models.
Yeah.
A lot of curve to the left.
I love
it's,
hearing
It's so
that.
easy to turn over. That's for
Good.
sure.
Good, good, good.
But, all right, I'll give you that. So I got a couple of questions here just to get to while Danny is doing that. Let's see if there's anything here. I'm just gonna scroll up here. Philip, do you offer fitting online phone to people in the UK? I think this is a great conversation. We do. We offer online phone fittings,
Yep.
Consultations by at secondswing.com. You can also call our store if you are in the US as well.
Sure.
Not our store, our customer service team.
Customer service.
They are also go through the same training process as we do. Yes, you're not seeing the golf swing and seeing the shots in live,
Right.
but we can talk about their tendencies and what they're going to fit. And the nice thing at Second Swing is you got the play guarantee as well. So if it's for example just not working for you, you can always exchange it out and put something
Right.
else in there too.
Right.
But yeah, we do the online fittings there. Let's see what else we got here. Ryan, Mazda. I finally got fit for a set of Callaway Apex 21 DCB yesterday. Now fully appreciate the fitting process and how important it is to have tools fit you.
Love
Yeah,
it.
it's nice to have all the tools to fit people. is
Right.
what it is, and
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine 10 years ago. It's just such a huge difference, and I think that's the biggest thing is people don't understand, like, oh, my old driver's good, but how good can the new one be? And it's not so much as the new one, it's just getting fit for the right loft and the
Exactly.
right shaft and everything like that. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, we hear all the time, guys come in with a driver, irons, and all of a sudden we get them 20, 30, 40 extra yards, and they always say, man, I wish I should have done this sooner. You know what I mean? It
Right.
happens every day at Second Swing, and I'm sure across the country as well.
I find it's funny here. Tiger doesn't have that muscle for show. He literally got it from being on crutches. Yeah, he's been on crutches for a lot of times in his life, so I mean, you could be onto something there.
I don't think crutches are going to give me 22s. I just don't see it.
Yeah. And it looks like Tony here has just said, still same stock lofts comparative to the older model. I'd like to try something other than TaylorMade. Yeah, we still got this. It's still the same stock lofts there.
Yep.
It would be interesting if Callaway did come out with an 8-degree head.
Yeah.
Now they do have their torque hog,
Right.
where you can reduce the loft 2 degrees down.
Yeah.
You know, you loft and lie is independent, so you can rotate them around.
Yeah. Well, that's something readily available, you know, in the fitting base for us. It's just not something we can give to 9 out of 10 players with a Callaway driver. You know what I mean? It's very hard to come by.
It is. It's hard to come by. And what they have done though is, you know, Callaway for longer golf shafts, when people were starting to get fit for longer shafts, recommended less loft. So they started playing around with that Tour cog, that green dot cog, that does give you less loft on the down there too. But
Right.
yeah, less loft is going to give you more ball speed. Maybe harder to hit straight, but you got to have that. You got to have that distance versus dispersion debate is what it comes down to, and you got to talk with that through for the fitter.
Yeah.
And figure out, you know, whether if I'm picking up this distance, but it's going further offline, is it worth it to bomb and gouge, I guess, or is it worth it to hit the ball straighter? And I think it depends on the golf course you're playing
I think so.
and the way you like to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even looking or talking with, you know, tour level fitters that are out there week to week, a lot of players aren't chasing the 1900 RPMs of spin. They're floating more towards the 2,900 RPMs of spin, just so their misses are going to be a lot tighter.
Yeah.
Spin keeps you in play, where low spin can take you out real quick.
Yeah, and I think you talk about like the tour players. You talk about attack angle, I guess. That's the more you hit up on it with the driver, the lower that ball is going to spin. The spin loft is going to be influenced dramatically.
Yeah.
Tour players, they still hit down on it about 1 degree, or very, very neutral.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Rory can hit up on it, hit bombs there too. But you know, when they're hitting down on it at 1 degree or neutral, they're spinning it at 2,600.
Right.
I mean, if they want to hit the ball further, yeah, they could hit the ball further, but they want to hit the fairway a lot of times. And
Absolutely.
that's why you see DJ's numbers, for example, a lot of speed, but you'll see that thing launch at 9, 10 and spin at 2,600, and
Yep.
you're like, well, yeah, as a fitter, I'm like, yeah, he's leaving a lot on the table, but he's in the fairway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially playing a cut. Yeah, he's in good shape.
Yeah. One more question here. Do you recommend fitting for mid to high handicap players? Is it worth it at my level?
100%.
Yeah. I think it's even worth it more at his level
Yes.
than any other level.
Yeah.
Yeah. A higher handicap golf, you've got so much more potential for gains. Yeah. And then I think the debate, obviously, lessons versus fitting comes up. And your golf swing's, you know, always going to be evolving over time, but you're never going to be in a spot where you're like, oh, my swing's perfect. It's just never going to be perfect. I'm working on my game all the time, but I still get fit and go through that there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. It's where you're going to get the most gains as a mid to high handicap golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
LS, Rogue Max LS.
Yeah, this is a different shape.
Okay.
It's putting that down there. You know, I know they're still 460 cc's, but it's just looks like it's a little bit smaller. I think it's taller, but less, you know, heel to toe is what it looks like. And it looks like it sits a little flatter, and I know it does. You know, I've looked at the specs and I've played around with them there too.
Yeah.
One thing you can notice with the Callaway Rogue ST line is lie angle changes by about 2 to 3 degrees. That's stated on the 9-degree head. I think it's between 57 and 60, depending on the driver model that you're getting fit for.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just know that you've got the cogs as well that you can play around with as well.
Sure.
But even still, knowing you've got this in the SD,
Yep.
it does look like it sits a little bit flatter.
I can see it back here, and I can already see the shape is quite a bit different as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if the spin rate drops. That's what I'm curious about.
Back Back to the quieter sound for sure, and
Yep.
low spin.
A little lower flight there too. And I didn't go after that one as hard. I think I've been talking for a little too long. So my club speed dropped a little bit on me there. But yeah, spin rate down a little bit, a little lower ball flight.
Okay.
I love that flight. I think I get too carried away sometimes on that carry and total distance, but still 311 and dead straight. Can't
Play
what
it.
you're going to ask, right?
Right.
I came over that one just a touch.
Okay. One thing I do like to see is, especially if you draw it a little bit, at least the spin stayed up with that.
Yeah.
It didn't drop out of the sky at 12 or 1300.
Right.
So
It's not, you're not going to lose carry distance. I think that was what, 285? I think plus or minus 0.1. So
Right.
yeah, you're right. That's perfect example right there.
Yep.
They basically went the exact same number. It just happened to pull it just a little bit.
Right.
There we go.
As soon as I talk about it, here comes the spin.
Yeah. Yeah. That had to be just a little higher toe.
You want to take a look?
Yeah. I mean, it's still 120 feet in the air. Look at that spin rate dropped a little bit on me.
Right in the
Look at
sweet
that.
spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is my sweet spot, by the way. And people are like, "Well, why isn't that in the middle?" That's where I want to hit it. I don't want to hit it any on the right half of that.
No.
Heel is no good.
Nope.
Yeah.
Toe side's the pro side.
Yeah. I like it. I think I had 3 there that carried about 285, and then I had that one that I got just a little bit higher toe that spin rate stayed down and carried 290.
Now, due to the CC size-wise on the head, we saw a couple turn over a little bit more than the Rogue Max family, but did that feel a little bit lighter swing weight-wise or anything to make it easier to turn over with the smaller CCs, or the shape maybe? Did that help to kind of turn that over for you? Anything there?
Yeah, I think so. This has actually got the same CCs. It's still 460.
Yeah.
The triple diamond's going to be 450, but the way it is shaped and the way it's designed, I still feel like, even though it's still considered very, very high forgiving, not as forgiving as say the Maxes.
Yeah.
And I think the twist, like the resistance of twisting and gear effect, it's going to be affected just a little bit more with this lower spinning model. Anytime you have less spin on a driver, and it's going a certain direction, it's going to go that direction even further. So it's going to keep going that way, as opposed to if a higher spin, it's going to stay in the air a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest thing. But
Okay. Well,
what do we got here next? What do you want to?
Epic Max LS.
All right, let's do that. Actually,
head-to-head.
I would love to do the speed as well after, because I think you
think
mentioned
that'll
it in the
come
intro. The Epic speed last year kind of got. It's not like it got forgotten.
No.
But it was like everyone got so focused on either really high forgiveness or the low spinning driver, and that speed was really good.
I called it kind of my cheater club. If I needed a player to gain a little bit more club head speed, I'd throw that in and pick up an extra half to maybe a full mile an hour for players.
Yep.
It's just the triple diamond head is the one I was saying that really didn't come off the shelf a whole lot, just due to every other head managing to spin more properly, and I didn't need that to go in for a player.
Right.
But I think this year with kind of revamping and saying we want more forgiveness across all our heads, I think that the new Rogue ST triple diamond will come out more so this year for sure.
Yeah. I think people are always excited just to see something new. I mean, triple diamond, it's been out there, it just hasn't been available to the public. It's just been a tour club, known as a tour club.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Epic Flash series, that's in my bag, the double diamond head. So it's been around for a while. Like you said, it just not not the most friendly in years past, forgiveness-wise. So I think it's ramping up into 2022.
Right. I'm going to just get into a couple of questions here real quick.
Okay.
Question here, I kind of want to follow up on that phone fitting here too. How do you do a phone fitting? Do we need any tools or info beforehand? I mean, we want to know about your game.
Yeah.
So everything you can tell us about your golf game for a phone fitting or an online fitting is great. I think even like our online fittings, if you got a swing, you send us a swing. I think that would be kind of a cool way to talk to our sales and service team. It's always nice to see that. But we will ask questions like we would normally would in our interview process in a fitting in person.
Yeah.
What your bull flight tendency, what your goals are you working with an instructor, you have any limitations and that kind of stuff. And well, we can get you dialed in, and I'd be very confident to give nearly anyone a fitting over the phone, and I think I could get them 90% there without even needing to see them hit a shot.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be just 2022, 2021 product. I mean, we have a vast majority of irons, drivers, whatever we want to put in the bag at a lower price point to fit any player as well.
Yeah.
And those fittings are still free to those players as well.
Right, and I think that other 10% almost comes from when it comes to brand preference, really.
Yeah.
Is where it comes down to is like, well, obviously you're not having a chance to test 3 or 4 heads, TaylorMade, Ping, Titleist, Callaway, whoever it is, against each other. But we can at least talk about the differences between them and what they've liked to play in the past, or if they're kind of open and what we're seeing in general trends there too. But I think not saying our jobs, I'm not worried about my fitting job in the future, but I think the future will show for more online fittings and more online phone calls. I think this pandemic obviously is maybe accelerating that a little there too. But our guys are kept very busy in the day on the phone and also online.
Yeah.
We have more than one. We have quite a few people on phones all the time.
Yeah.
Question, actually agreement here, totally agree with Thomas about putting. Use the 10-1 rule. For every one ball I hit with any club, hit the putter 10 times. Average putts per round is 28.6. I need some putting tips. That's impressive. Tony, again, asking about custom sleeves to have different lofts or other drivers without being a pro. I mean, just talking about the Callaway one, yes, you can get the Callaway one.
Yeah, the
I know.
dot.
I know you can like just even get them on eBay too. If you really can't get them, there's ways to get them. There's people that are selling them or that kind of stuff there too. But I know, for example, like the green cog is available through Callaway. You can get it custom. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to this driver. We're back to this driver, I guess.
Yep. Epic Max LS.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, I recognize this one. This is what I played in 2021.
What did you think overall?
I mean, I was really impressed with the forgiveness. I mean, for a lower spinning driver, the forgiveness was it was on point.
Good. Okay.
Yep. Pretty good.
Yep.
Good reason why it was in my bag.
Exactly. It's going to be tough to get you out of it.
Right. It's always nice to have a backup driver, right?
Yeah.
I don't tinker much, but I got a couple of different options. Yeah, so even there, left the face, open, face the path was 3 degrees, spins lower than what we were seeing, say, with the Max when it was at 2600.
Yep.
So clearly it's spinning a little less.
Yep.
A little harder for me to turn over, too.
Okay.
Even with the upright setting, which is good because it means I can go after it a little harder and not worry about going way left, right?
Interesting point.
Let's amp this up a little bit.
118.8. Yep. That's what stepped
I mean,
on
I
it.
went after that pretty hard, but
Yeah.
once again, it's not always about club speed.
Right.
Notice what happened to that.
It went
that
the same
smash there.
distance as
Went the
you know,
same
when you
distance
were
the shot
4 or
before.
5 miles an hour slower.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great example right there of it's not always about club speed.
Nope.
Ball speed is, I didn't really gain any ball speed because I didn't hit the middle of the face.
Right.
But when I do, that's
That's
what
the
brings
one
you
to
back.
remember. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, while I'm hitting this model from last year, the LS, it still sounds louder than
Yes,
the others. So that's probably the
100%.
biggest takeaway. There we go. All right, got one to chase today.
296, 319.4.
Pretty straight.
And again, your club head speed dropped back out 5, but we were more efficient, which is why it went farther.
Yep.
Right.
Right. And it went straighter too. So
Okay.
further and straighter.
Ready for the triple diamond?
Yeah, that's actually, let's do the speed because
do
I
the
think
speed
well,
triple?
I'm curious. It's more for me actually. I'm curious to see
Okay.
because I really didn't hit it that much. And
No, really?
Yeah. Let's throw it in the mix. At least that way we can cover everything and see how they all kind of compare.
I know this is going to have the kind of biggest impact on shape for you. You've been seeing more, more traditional shapes from them. Now, once we get into the triple diamond or more tour level heads, you're going to see a significantly smaller CC. You're going to see more camber, meaning that the center of the sole is raised, and there's less heel and toe relief for a player. So that can amplify kind of gear effect a little bit more for somebody too. But what's going on there?
Just looking at a couple of these here. So a question here, on the Callaway settings, if you set it to +1 end to end, so +1 aloft and neutral lie angle, does it still close the face a bit even if it states neutral?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes it easier for sure. Anytime you got more loft on a driver too, it's easier to get that face to turn over and close there.
Yep, and vice versa.
Yeah, it does a little bit, and all of the tips and adapters and like that. Anytime you're open or closed, you're affecting the face angle just a little bit. Yeah.
That's driver all the way through hybrids nowadays too, or driving irons too.
I'm a slow swinger. What kind of a spin is best for a club head speed of 85 to 90 miles an hour? High or low spin? I mean, generally,
Depends on launch.
it depends on a lot of things. Your attack angle, launch, how you deliver it. I always like to say 2,000 to 3,000 is a good starting point.
Yeah.
If it's consistent, then we can kind of start fine tuning a little bit with the loft of the club that you're using, and everything like that too. But as a baseline, if you're not between 2,000 and 3,000, then we gotta do some stuff.
Yeah.
We gotta do some playing around.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay. So I told you this was my cheater head.
Cheater head.
So I would expect club head speed to be a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
Not
So
that
this
you're
is rounder
stepping
for
in.
sure.
Yeah. Speed, triple, diamond.
Well, this is the epic speed. Just the.
That's the triple.
Oh, this is the triple diamond.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This is unique here.
Yeah.
Cheater club.
Uh-huh.
That's
Nothing to hate there.
Well, the higher ball speeds. I got to crack 170 here today.
You will.
If I didn't twist my ankle, I could go after it a little harder. Straight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This one, it seems like it sounds just a little softer than the other epic ones that I've had.
Yeah, I would say for me back here, I don't know if the guys online can hear it or not, but I would say it's in between.
Yeah.
Kind of the Rogue ST and the Epic. I'd say it's right in between there.
Yeah. It's just a touch softer sound, and I think it'd be interesting going from this, then going to the triple diamond LS model and see how that changes the sound preference. Very, very consistent bowl flight there. I find it interesting, the last 2 models I've hit, I haven't been able to turn it over as much.
Right. And that's typically what you see going into the single, double, triple diamond heads. They're slightly more centered to fade bias, where everything else is kind of centered to almost not left, but more neutral. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But this one does have a little bit more weighting to promote and make it harder to turn over, which is why I play the double diamond, because I don't want it to go right, but at the same time I want to step on it and know it's not going to go 100 yards left.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked how stable this was. I mean, I look at like triple diamond, epic speed, and I was like, maybe this isn't going to be as stable, but it's pretty good. I think 3 shots there in a row, they're almost the same bowl flight.
And I love that you talked about that, because I think years previous to this, they weren't very friendly, those triple diamond heads. They were only for tour pros or very, very consistent ball strikers. But now, the epic speed line, I'm excited to hit the Rogue ST now, because the forgiveness level is supposed to be even higher with the triple diamond, which again would fit more players' bags for sure.
Is this 450 or 460?
450.
It is 450? So they're both 450 cc's.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to take a look at the. I didn't hit that one, so thanks for letting me hit the triple diamond epic speed. I was pretty happy with the bull flight on it, how consistent it was.
Yeah, ball speed was managed, very, very consistent, pretty straight as well.
Yeah. Let's see here. I agree. You guys have been hiding Danny on the live sessions. He's also great out there with wealth of insight. Thanks for putting this together. Yeah, Danny's a great part of our team. We really appreciate having him, not only in the fitting bay with our content team.
Love it.
Knows his stuff.
Appreciate the shout out there.
Even with my max speed of 87 miles an hour, I still think that clubhead speed is more important. It's really going to, I mean, it is important. I'm not saying it's not important. I don't think it's...
I think it can be, the conversation can be had like Bryson, for example, where if clubhead speed goes up, strokes gained can go up as well. The potential for that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the further you hit it down range, your next shot's going to be shorter, so you're going to have more control over it. But at the same point, if you're hitting it at OB, because you're swinging so fast at it, that's going to cost you strokes too.
Right.
So.
I think if you... I'm trying to think here. So say your smash factor is, say, 145.
Okay.
And then you swing 2-3 miles an hour faster, and your smash factor is, say, 144.
Yeah.
You're probably going to pick up a little bit of gains.
Yeah.
But if that smash factor all of a sudden drops to 1.4 because you're not hitting in the middle of the face, that's when you're going to probably notice that the gains aren't there if we're trying to swing harder.
Yeah, I mean, this actually just happened with us. I mean, it literally just happened. So if we were at 4.8 on the efficiency, spinning at 22, 289 to 310, and now our swing speed came up 6 miles an hour, but ball speed was stable. It was the same at 166.4.
Yeah, and that shot I remember, I was like, I got to go after this one really hard to pick it up.
And we you went after it,
and I picked
for
up
2 yards of carry and 2 yards on the back end.
Yeah, but the numbers say pretty similar. So. Yeah. Was it worth me trying to swing 6 miles an hour faster?
Probably
and
not.
Put
Your
my
body
back
will
out?
say no.
Yeah, and potential to be off with the club face or path.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree. I mean, it's fun to go after it hard. It's fun to try and hit drives really far. But when you're, I think sometimes you got to, when you're in the fitting bay versus on the golf course, I think you got to be realistic of what the hole presents itself on the golf course.
Yeah, that's the thing with indoor fitting. Everybody sees the screen, starts, you key in on where the numbers are for players, and now they hit a shot, that's where their head goes first, is distance, distance, distance.
Yeah.
And it's not so much on dispersion anymore, where, that's where a fitter helps dial in that and get you that distance you're chasing as well in the right way. So.
Yeah, definitely got to talk about both. You can't just focus on the ball speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get more ball speed by having my face closed 5 degrees. Yeah, I could do that.
Right. I've yet to meet the guy that comes in or gal that comes in and says, I just want pure distance and I don't care where it goes. I haven't met that person yet.
Long drive guys, but that also don't play on the golf course once again. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's when you give them a crank at 4 degrees and say, here you go.
Yep. And we did a video a little while ago with guys chasing 200 miles an hour in ball speed, which should be getting posted pretty soon.
Yep.
But that'll be completely new to the channel because we haven't seen that amount of speed before. But anyway, back to the Callaway Rogue ST stuff.
Yeah, 200 miles an hour is out of the question for me. Yeah, I just going back and forth. I think this is great to talk about again. The look, love the look. It's just so clean.
Yeah,
no shine to it at all.
Yeah. I would venture to say that's the quietest driver we've hit all day today.
That's quiet, yeah.
Very, very quiet.
It's pretty. That's the lowest spin we've seen all day too. Yeah. So I mean, it chased out, but yeah, that height. Wow. That height really dropped.
Yeah. Dramatic.
I know I drew it a little bit, but I mean, it's one of the first shots I've seen the height under 100 feet. So. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm taking a look at some of the chats, and I see one of my boys, Tony Grabowski, on there. He's the guy that broke 200 miles an hour in ball speed, so he was laughing at your 170. But yeah, Tony, I mean, thanks for the kudos on the best fitter for me as well. But yeah, Tony's actually going to be joining the Second Swing family. He's going to be working over at Minneapolis for us as well in the upcoming season. So just good to see. But yeah, Tony, you're just a freak. Not everybody has that speed.
Yeah, more content ideas there with speed.
My money's still on Thomas to beat Tony, just saying.
Right.
But good to see you, bud.
Yeah, I mean, so 2 of the 3 shots there, the spin rate was very, very low. I think we had 1,500, and that was in the 1,600 category. The other one was a little miss hit. But yeah, it's definitely the lowest spinning of the 3 that we're seeing.
They do make a 10.5 in that head as well, which is going to be available to consumers too. So say the spin a little bit higher. As a fitter, I'd probably go more into the 10.5, loft it down 1, and let it sit a little bit upright. That way we can manage that spin a little bit more.
Yep.
Well, that's a very good thing to see with same loft on everything we've hit, just where the weighting is and how that helps shape the overall performance of the driver for you.
Yeah. It feels like it's a little more workable. I mean, we noticed there with that spin dropping.
Yeah.
It dove pretty low and pretty fast to the left.
There has been a similarity with, once we get into the smaller CC heads, that they're more able to twist a little bit. We're seeing more workability, more left action for you, whereas when we let out with the Max LS, it was much straighter. It was less resistance to twist, right?
Yeah. So. Fly straighter with a little more spin and straight, but once again, is that conversation, is the extra 10 yards
right? Is it worth it?
Yeah, is it worth it?
Yeah. Well, let's. I think we wanted to play a little bit with shafts.
Yeah.
Kind of dial that
let's
stuff
do
in
that because we have a couple. Now that's probably, I guess, what we've got here. So I want to do a shout out here to our Callaway rep for getting this stuff to us. This is not our fitting components yet. As I mentioned, we don't have fitting components in the store. I think everything tailor-made Callaway is coming in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we're able to borrow this stuff for what we've got here now. Also, don't forget about Cobra. Cobra's going to be coming out soon with new stuff. Can't say anything yet, but their stuff's going to be really good here too. But we got the AV series line here. Tensai. Got the 55 stiff. We got 75. That's the blue.
Okay.
And then we have a whole bunch of white ones here. We got 75S, 75X. That just hurts. I can hit it though. 65X, and then I was hitting 65 So
I like the 65X option quite a bit for you.
yeah, I would agree. Yep.
So what do you want to spin in? 65X?
Well, let's go go light to heaviest.
Okay.
Lightest to heaviest.
Okay.
I think right now it's pretty. A lighter shaft can generate more club speed.
Okay.
But is that club speed worth it? Is
Right.
what it comes down to. And a lot of times I'll say to people, you play the lightest golf shaft that you can handle. When I say handle, that you can hit straight.
Absolutely.
Because if you can't hit it straight, then you need to go a little heavier and go for stability.
Yeah.
Hit in the middle of the face. Yeah.
So with this test we're gonna do with shafts, I mean, yes, but talk to me about what head you want it to go on. Are we chasing distance or are we chasing the tighter dispersion? What's more important for you?
A combination of both.
Okay.
I mean, I'm leaning towards either the triple diamond or the Max LS in 2022.
Yep.
So I'm curious to see. I mean, get your thoughts on between the two of them, because I mean, if you're chasing pure distance, the triple diamond, yeah, it's going to spin less, it's going to go further, but it's going to be harder to hit straight all the time.
Yeah, and just seeing kind of how you're interacting. I mean, if we take this in and play it as a fitting, like I'm fitting you, I would say you interacted best with the Max OS head.
I agree.
So have some forgiveness, but the low spin tendencies. So when I'm going to play with shafts, I'm going to use that head exclusively, because I think you just overall interacted better with that than the triple diamond.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. We talk about, like, just because it's a triple diamond head doesn't mean all the tour players are playing this triple diamond head.
No.
I'd be willing to bet that the higher percentage of tour players are playing non-triple diamond stuff, because they understand the importance of forgiveness on the game too.
Right. Or if they are, then it's probably in a little bit higher loft.
Right.
Depending on their shaft length.
Yep.
Like take Phil, for example, he's got the Epic Speed triple diamond, but his driver's extended to 46 too. When you go longer, you got to go lower in the loft.
Yeah.
That goes hand in hand. So, all right. Tenside blue 55.
I'll do a couple of things here real quick before we get started on the shafts. I always laugh. Thomas is the smash factor king. Absolutely love his swing and knowledge of the game.
Love
Thanks,
it.
guys. I mean, I don't think I've had a 1.5 today.
Right. We haven't hit it yet.
Not yet, at least. But normally efficiency is usually pretty good. I can get a 1.5 with a 7-iron sometimes, though.
I know you
Game
can.
improvement 7-iron.
The rare bird you are, I know.
Yeah. Sometimes I can get the higher smash with. That's kind of funny. Good question here. So would the relationship between shaft weight and shaft flex, can you go super stiff but super light? Is that even a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a scale. The lighter the shaft, the more flexible usually it's going to be.
Right.
But you can get low 60-gram extra stiff shafts. Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I played 2 this year.
Yeah.
But with the Tenside Blue 50X, I tipped it an inch and then extended it on the butt end. That way it'd be more stable. Otherwise, it's too light and not stable enough for me. So
I
gotta be
think
careful
most
with
of the
that.
time you're going to see a scale from going lightest and most flexible to stiffest, most heaviest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are ways to kind of blend the two together almost. Yeah.
Real quick question. Have an open spot in my bag. What is your best 5-wood you guys recommend? I love the 5-wood conversation, because I don't think enough 5-wood, 7-wood conversation. I don't think enough people would consider that as an option.
Yeah. I'd have to know more to give any kind of recommendation. I know some of the sneaky ones for me have been Tour Edge, as the exotics line. It just wants to go straight up, which is what everybody wants out of a 5-wood. Ping has been very, very good with that as well, launching the ball up. On the flip side, I would say the TaylorMade Sim Tie, or probably the new Stealth line, will have the same similar tendencies, and the TSI family. The 3, if you're going to lower the launch, lower the spin a little bit. The 2, if you're going to launch a little bit higher and have a little bit more spin and forgiveness. So.
Yeah, we just know with a 5-wood with more loft, the way the center of gravity is, it's going to launch. It's going to spin more. It's going to get in there and spin a little bit, and it'll ease it straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would definitely check out the exotics line. That's not a sleeper by any means. It's very, very good. I put it in play a lot actually in my fittings. But overall, I mean, we have to know a little bit more about that gap, why it's a gap, why are the other clubs aren't performing as well.
What their attack angle is like, you know, how they deliver the club, what's more important for them there too.
Shaft weight, you know, in the driver, shaft weight in the 3-wood, shaft weight in the hybrid, are all those on the right scale?
Yep. Is the 5-wood like the longest fairway wood, or is he going to play a 3-wood as well and that kind of stuff? Well,
or is it going to be a 3 hybrid at the same loft?
There's a lot that goes into the fitting. I mean,
we could talk all day about that 5-wood.
Yeah. All right. 55S AV series blue, the Tensai.
It looks like different aesthetic this year with kind of that family of shafts. Looks like they kind of grabbed the aesthetics and kind of just pulled it a little bit, extended the overall look.
Yeah. I mean,
really
first off, right now, what I'm noticing here is, you know, I'm not the strongest guy, but I can see a bit of a flex. Yeah. So. So what that means is the way that you deliver the golf club, whether your transition's fast or smooth or like, it's going to load differently.
Exactly.
And then that face angle at impact's going to
change.
It's going to change. Yeah. It's either going to catch up or it's not going to catch up.
Right. Yeah. Right. Let's find out.
Yep. Might get more club speed, but will it go straight? We'll find out.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we just had that conversation. Now we're going to live it right here.
Feels light. I'm not gonna lie. It just feels like my hands. Everything just feels kind of loose. I feel like I left a little on the table on that one because I didn't hit it in the middle of the face. That's pretty wild there for me. And the only reason that one spun low is probably because I probably hit it here.
It was out of the toe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too, like with golf shafts, like, you know, is a heavier shaft going to spin less? Is a lighter shaft going to spin more? It's player dependent. It's really what it comes down to. It's how they deliver the golf club.
Yep.
Yes, there's trends, but yeah, it's so player dependent that I'm never going to tell anyone, here, play this 45-gram driver shaft because it's going to spin more and it's going to launch higher. Right. Versus the 70-gram X. Yeah.
Right. I've been proven wrong so many times in the bays. Like, I would lead out and say, this might be a little bit lower spinning or have those tendencies. All of a sudden, they spin it more. Yeah. It's like, well, you're in the wrong shaft profile for your game. Let's rework it. Yeah. Right. But
whatever allows you to swing the most consistently is the best fit.
100%. Longest of the day.
Yeah. Oh. I can get the occasional time, but even still, it was still 74 feet of curve to the left with it. I feel like I hit that pretty good.
Yeah, you definitely did, and the height was up at 121, so I'm okay with a little bit of knuckle. Yeah. Spin-wise at 18, but I'd probably do some more alterations to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, once again, good numbers, but not straight.
No, not efficient. 142.
Look at that club speed.
Yeah.
Getting used to the shaft a couple of times, I feel like I can maybe give it one more two swings here and get close to that 120 with it, maybe. It feels light. It feels like I can go after a little bit more, but there's that conversation there too. Is it worth it? So I gotta get 170 ball speed. But that smash factor is just hurting me right now.
Ooh. Close.
Yeah, it's close. It's amazing. It's consistent.
It is. It definitely is.
If I want to draw the bull a lot, this shaft will promote that.
That makes sense, right? Lighter swing weight, being able to turn that over a little bit. Makes complete sense.
Yeah, it feels too light in my hands.
Yeah.
As fun as it is to swing something light, it's just not. I mean, it's consistent, I guess, for one thing, but it's just left every time.
Right.
Nope, not today.
Well, we could get you there. You know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might need to change the loft.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's light. If you're looking for a little extra, but you can hit the ball straight, it's a good option.
Yeah.
Who would fit this shaft? What kind of club speed? What kind of transition you feel like with this Tensai?
I mean,
Blue?
the Tensai family, you know, they are a little bit of counterbalanced, so it is a little bit more stable, you know, underneath the grip itself, a little bit softer at the tip section too. So the Tensai family really fits a lot of players. I wouldn't say there's a range in club head speed for that shaft because it's so widely known. That's why it's in a lot of manufacturers. They trust that shaft a lot because it fits a lot of players. But ultimately, shaft flex, you know, probably looking more so club speed wise to answer that question. But as far as, you know, giving a number and say, hey, if you're at, you know, 88 miles an hour, the Tensai Blue is the only way to go, I can't say that.
Love it. Trick question. Good answer.
Yep. It's kind of danced around it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy answer to say, oh, it's player dependent.
Right.
But it so is.
It's
It's so much that goes into it.
Yeah. Okay.
What are we gonna do now? When do you reckon? So we're just kind of talking about this. When do you reckon you should put an extra stiff shaft on?
When do you reckon? I like it. I like it. Must be down south. I love it.
Well, once again, a lot of it comes down to your transition.
100%.
You know, whether you're got a smooth transition, tempo, fast or slow. 105 plus is when I start with the drivers. When I at least bring that shaft into the conversation.
Yeah, I would say, you know, I've been kind of in that teetering on that fence for a while. I'm at 106, 107, and I'm at 50 grams in an X. So very light for an extra stiff. Could I benefit more from probably having like a 7S or a 6S? Potentially, yeah, given my club head speed. But, you know, I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't want to get rid of the X yet. but no, I would agree. Probably that 105, you start to have that conversation. Unless the ball is getting really high in the air where you need a stable tip section, maybe knock that or kill some spin. Then maybe underneath, you might be able to just kind of sneak that in at a lighter weight.
Yep.
But heavy stuff, 65, 75, I would say at least 105 and up.
Yeah. And that 105 mile an hour guy, I'm probably not going to put a 78 gram extra diff shaft.
No.
Unless, once again, we're seeing, you know, that it's working. But part of our fitting process, you know, we fit the head first, get the right loft guard dialed in. Yep. Then we'll test 3 or 4 different shafts. And we'll throw in an X, we'll throw in stiff, and we'll test the weight and see how they perform. But, yeah, I'll say this a lot, player dependent.
I know it.
Yeah.
Let's kind of work our way up.
All right. While we're here, my wife has a depth of field issue, so she uses just a few clubs when she goes with me. Would it be a good idea to get her set with equal length shafts from Cobra?
Ooh.
Do you like the Cobra one length stuff?
I really do.
Yep.
You know, especially for beginners where it's always a big struggle for players to get things up in the air at the longer irons, the 4, the 5, even the 6 or the 7, whatever the swing is dependent on. But having those all at the same length can also build a player's confidence in their golf swing.
Yeah.
I would say it's one of my go-tos actually for players just getting into the game, starting that out. So I think that'd be a great option, you know, to get one length for her as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to worry about trying to teach them ball position for each golf club.
No.
Trying to deliver the club differently, swing differently.
Yep.
You're gonna do is stand the same way.
Yeah.
If you have maybe back issues, posture issues, feel like it's awkward to stand taller or to stand further away from the ball.
Yep.
There's good options there too.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of one length stuff.
Okay.
I guess I'm just too traditional. Every shaft, we're talking about traditional bull position. Every club for me is half an inch further forward in my stance as the loft goes down.
Right.
But that's just the way that I've always been brought up. But everyone's different, and I think it benefits a lot of golfers. And I'm glad it's an option.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that other manufacturers still haven't jumped on it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they will over time. But
Yep.
I think Cobra did a phenomenal job and their engineers on being able to still get the ball up at shorter length. Like that's a solution or a question that a lot of manufacturers haven't answered yet. How can they do that? Where Cobra is kind of leading the pack with that so far.
Yeah. Gaming the Apex 21 Pro right now, 4-through pitching wedge, hit my 7-iron 170 in stiff shafts. Would an extra stiff shaft make sense? And my woods possibly have a driver and 3-wood. I would keep it pretty consistent, is what I would say for the most part. If you're playing stiff, play stiff all the way through. If you're playing X, play all the way through. The only time I'll see that maybe change is wedges. You see like tour guys, and I do this myself. I go from a 6.5 to a S400. I just take a slight little step down.
Yeah. I've seen it where the driver might be in X for somebody that's swinging more down at the driver, and then a heavy stiff to be into the fairway wood to try and get the ball to launch a little bit higher. So it's always got to be, what are you trying to do with that club height-wise? Talk to me about the scenario where you'd pull that out. And then let's have the conversation about shaft.
Yeah.
But.
And then one other thing here, you guys, I love this comment here. Guys, the key is a good fitter is honesty. This is why I love this company to show honesty in your comments and advice. And I mean, really, it comes down to is just we're just here to try and help every single golfer differently. And there's no magic science to fitting.
No.
Everyone's different. Like you said, you've been proven wrong. I've been proven wrong in fitting bay. I don't want to pump, say over something, well, this club's going to go further than this one.
Right.
It's, it's whatever the golfer likes.
Right.
And, end of the day, it's the golfer that's hitting the club. I'm not hitting the golf club, so I want to make sure they like it.
Right.
If I like it, it doesn't make a difference. It's what they are hitting and what works for them.
Yeah, and especially early on in the year, when a lot of fitters just look at loft and say, okay, this is what this is going to do because it's lofted this way. And it takes them a few months to get into, okay, who really is this club for? Step away from a loft perspective and say, based on what I've seen in other fittings, I'm learning as I'm giving it to players the tendencies of the iron or tendency of the driver and really molding that in. But being a good fitter is not only looking at the loft, is diagnosing what head is actually going to get the player there the fastest. Because we have a limited amount of swings. We're human.
Yeah. And I think a lot of good fitters, they fit like hit location, they fit attack angle. Because that can change during a fitting. And we know even just the slightest little bit on the toe or the heel, a driver might perform better on those 4 or 5 hits, but if the other club is hitting off the heel, one's on off the toe, you got to explain to them, say, this one's performing better, but that's more based on the hit location or your attack angle is 2 degrees more up or that kind of stuff. So, we're just here to help them fit into the club that that works best.
Love that comment though. Really, really good.
Okay, what did we put in here? Oh, 65X. All right.
Come on now.
Yeah. More stable.
Have you ever dabbled with this shaft, by the way? The Tensai White? Any of
You
your
know what?
products
I have never really hit the Tensai shaft that well.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a counterbalance thing, but I've struggled most of the time. I tried the Tensai orange shaft out.
Yeah.
And I played around with a extra long golf shaft. I think that maybe be the problem. But I just had a hard time with the feel with it.
Okay.
And that's the other thing with feel. Everyone's different on feel as well. So I haven't personally had much success with the Tensai family.
Okay.
But I know like that Tensai orange has worked for a lot of good players too.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you?
I love the Tensai blue for me. It's just a little bit softer profile. For me, the Tensai white is a little bit too rigid for me, where the feel gets kind of harsh. So I've never gravitated towards that, but it's been one of the hottest shafts probably of the year for us in fitting bays, or at least for me.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just a
it's
spin
stable.
killer.
I don't think it gives me my fastest club speed with it.
Probably not.
And we have actually shot a video, which will be coming out,
Okay.
when we did stock versus stock with the Stealth versus
Yeah.
the Rogue ST.
Okay.
Because that's what we had originally, just the stock shafts to test and what comes with them.
Yep.
And I couldn't match the club speed with this stock shaft versus the stock shaft with the.
What was the other one?
With the Stealth.
The
Stealth,
the
it's like
smoke?
I
The
think
smoke
it's
red?
like, no, it's like a Hawaiian name. It's like a
Oh, the
Callaway. There we go. It's Callaway. Yeah. So that shaft was able to give me just a little more of a kick and a little
Softer
bit,
tip.
a little softer tip, and
Yeah.
I could go out. We're talking 2 or 3 miles an hour club speed. It was noticeable.
makes the eyebrows
Yep.
go up.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah. So that's one important thing there too, is when you can fit the shaft, is people react differently to golf shafts there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But this definitely feels much more stable than the 55S.
Yeah.
That's nice and straight. That's a good example of that right there. I mean, lost a little bit of club speed right off the bat. Now, I've hit a lot of drivers.
Yeah.
We've been on here for an hour and a half. I don't know. But the spin rate. Normally, this would be considered a lower spinning shaft.
Yeah.
But hit location's going to influence that, and bull flight's going to influence that too.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
also spin rate was a little higher because I hit that little favorite.
Well, a heavier, stiffer shaft could also kind of raise the dynamic loft for a player, how much loft they show at impact.
Yep.
Lighter weight, we're able to kind of turn that down and
Yeah.
de-loft it a little
A
bit.
lot more of this.
Exactly.
going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried to see that one bit.
Yeah.
But that's also why you probably play your driver down a little bit loft too.
Yep.
Yep.
Can't go above 9, that's for sure.
Yep. Okay. Great ball there.
Yeah. Like I said, it just feels a little bit more stable. I feel like I can't go after it as much, but I feel like I'm retaining my posture better with it.
That makes sense, yeah. But again, I'm just blown away by the sound of these. Just so quiet.
It is, yeah.
So quiet.
Yeah, and I think hitting like the epic stuff back and forth before, but you could really notice it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, that one just felt like a smooth swing, and I mean, it's pretty good right there. I'll take that every single time. There we go.
Bomber.
320.
Bomber.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I also play a 60-gram extra stiff golf shaft, and actually the weight of it I think is either 65 or 66. I play the XC 6X. Yeah. So similar, but I think the XC is without the counterbalance. It just feels like it's more stable across the entire shaft.
You're 100%.
Oh, this
right.
is just, I can feel it up here. I can feel it up here. Something's just.
It's weak in the middle.
It's weak in the middle.
Yep.
That's what it feels like. Where the
Yeah.
Graphite Design XC, my gamer shaft, is just stable across the entire shaft.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at kind of the numbers and looking just overall. I mean, you hit that triple diamond really, really nicely, kind of in the red up there. That was the straightest, most consistent. But again, you know, we're seeing very good results with this too. Very, very straight. When you add more weight, giving a player's club head speed, that can really dial in not only distance, but also dispersion for a player too. But we've been doing this for a little while. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Marty,
Okay.
what have you got here?
I pulled my shaft. The 46-inch
there we go.
Tenside Blue 50X tipped an inch.
Yeah.
And then I'm chasing 170 ball speed for you.
Okay.
So that's the triple diamond.
We should have done this at the start of the video, not at the end. How many driver swings am I in here?
Quite a few. Quite a few. Rogue ST LS triple diamond, right?
Yep.
Get that right. -1. Anti-blue 50X. Good Lord, that was a long
46 inches is the limit, I believe, now.
It is. I did my research before I built it. Yep.
Can no longer do a 46.5
Right.
inch shaft.
All right, let's have some fun here. 325, 330.
It's a tough ask.
It's easy to say. Come on now.
Just got to make sure I get close to the middle of the face. Yeah, that was low on the face.
We'll take it. Low on the face and still 148 on the efficiency, though. We got to talk about that, saying even though we didn't quite catch all of it in the middle, they still managed ball speed really, really nicely.
Yeah.
So well done, Callaway, at the new line. Really, really excited about that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I hit that one perfect, but.
Okay.
Come on. It's close.
Yes, sir. Roll it over.
Oh, come
on.
Another one though. It's another one where I don't feel like I hit it in the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
That should be close. I think it's the first time I got the ball to carry 300 though.
Yep. That was really, really good.
148 again.
Mm-hmm. 1697. We're only 0.3 away.
Yeah, that face was just a little bit squarer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's consistently been in that.
There he is.
We got there, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm not really. So this is once again a good conversation because I'm not picking up really that much distance.
No.
Even though I'm picking up just a little bit more ball speed, as you'll notice, the spin rate kind of jumping on me a little bit because I'm not hitting it in the same spot.
Right.
I was hitting it more here originally.
Yep.
I feel like it's just shifted just a little bit lower.
A little bit lower on the head.
Yeah.
Let's take a peek.
Huh.
Ah.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all four of them because.
Oh, well, let's kind of just go back to the start. We'll go through that. So
Yep.
this was very first one, neutral standard position with Callaway Rogue. Then this is kind of where we want to be for
Yep.
you, right?
Right.
We changed it up a little bit, got a little bit higher in the head. Kind of had a little bit more of a sweet spot there for you. Still kind of neutral in terms of north and south on the head for us.
That's what I would like to see right there.
Much better there.
That's the.
It's going back to the Epic Max LS.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The one, basically your gamer head,
Right.
which is why it's keyed in right in there.
Yeah.
for
That's
you.
really good.
Epic speed, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Triple diamond
Yep.
there. Okay, Rogue ST.
I'm intrigued to see what happens here now that the shaft's also a little longer too, just to see what happens. That's
Okay, so this was the
lower.
65X.
okay.
And now this next one is now the 46-inch shaft.
Yeah. I mean, that probably doesn't look like a lot on the screen,
No.
but so we're talking impact height -3 millimeters.
Yep.
Still slightly on the toe, but
Yeah.
if you go back to say that Epic Max LS, we're talking might be slightly up. It might be the red or the green, or I don't know, somewhere around there. But even still, we're seeing everything else is positive on the impact height in millimeters.
Yep.
I think that's it right there. Yeah.
Yep.
So 9 millimeters versus -3. So 12 millimeters.
Right.
Making a huge difference in the spin.
Which is why we're not getting everything out that we possibly can,
Right.
even due to lowering the loft.
Lowering the loft, longer golf shaft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not always the right solution to find distance. If we can't get you in the middle, longer the length of the club, the harder it is to find the middle.
Right.
And we're moving it faster. So longer, faster, still want to keep you in the middle. It's hard to do.
And I don't think, I can try, but I don't think I can tee this thing any higher. Because that would be the next solution. It's like, well, we'll tee it up higher. I can maybe try to move my ball position back slightly. That might get me there. It's going to probably affect my attack angle a little bit.
It'll affect dynamic loft too.
Dynamic loft a little bit. We'll see what happens. No, I don't want to go too far back because I'll sky it.
Yeah, right. It's a pretty head. We don't want to do that.
But I'll move my ball position just a touch.
Just a little bit, about half a ball probably.
Just half a ball, see what happens to that hit location. So attacking angle went down a couple of degrees.
Probably because of the
look what happened to my, I had a harder time getting that club to release over because now I'm back and now I'm swinging out that direction a little bit.
Yep.
I bet that hit location was better though.
Did it feel any better?
It felt like it had to be closer. Yeah.
Yep.
It's no longer down.
No.
Yeah.
Now it's getting close.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot that goes into this stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll try anything, right?
Right.
That wasn't very good. All right. Well, the one thing that I'm going to take away from all the drives that I've hit today is the distance I've been hitting them all.
Yeah.
I think my total distance has been in the low, like 310s, kind of regardless of, on average, regardless of kind of what setting I've had it at. 315, 311, 317, 313, 313, 314, 312, There's a couple that were a little bit shorter. That was actually the Rogue Max with a little bit more spin and lacking a little bit of ball speed there too. But
And the more we swung, the further things ended up going for you until we might have hit our peak and then.
I think, is there a shot count there? I'm curious to see how many driver swings this is. It's 42. Yeah, so.
Quite a bit.
Now, we've been doing this for, an hour and a half. The driver fitting takes an hour.
Right.
You're not going to get 40 driver swings is the absolute max you're going to get in a fitting there too.
Yeah.
So one thing to also bring up here too is if you're coming in for a driver fitting, don't go play 18 holes before.
No.
Don't go to the gym, don't go work out, don't try and swing, get really warmed up. Don't come in half an hour before, go in the bay and hit 50 shots.
Right.
You got to be fresh for a driver fitting.
Yep.
And there's a reason why we do 3 or 4 shots with each head, 3 or 4 shots with each shaft. Because we're going to get to that 40 driver swing count really easy. And I'm telling you right now, I'm gassed. I could keep swinging. I'm not going to pick up any gains.
No.
I'm going to be it would probably slowly start kind of going down a little bit overall.
Yeah, and I like the point you brought up on not coming in gassed. Basically when you set up the fitting, think of the day before, 2 days before. Okay, what are my goals day one? And then what swing am I going to bring in there? Am I working on a swing? If you are, tell your fitter that first and foremost. Hey, I'm working on this. Any good fitter will then say, okay, what are you working on? That way they can complement both what you want to work on to the head that you're going to go into.
Yeah.
But I think the Callaway Rogue ST family is going to be a huge win. I think sound is going to be a big kind of key to this too. If a player likes that sound, a lot of other manufacturers are going to have similar sound to that too. So that could, basically answer that question or not for a player. I don't know if they like it because there's so many others that are going to have that tendency too. Yeah. But coming out of ping, for example, that has a little bit, more pitch to it, and throwing this in right behind it, a player I feel like could go either way, based on the sound, because it's so dramatic.
Yeah, sound and visual too. I mean, this is this looks really different. I'm not like I said, I'm not used to seeing a Callaway driver that's got this matte finish to it.
Yeah.
And it looks really good.
Yeah.
So it's got to be appealing on the eye, and it's got to perform well as well. It's got to sound good.
Yeah.
And I think Callaway is going to hit it on all cylinders really there in 2022. Are we going to get like 5 miles an hour more ball speed than the model before? No. If you're fit right, yeah, probably. Yeah. If you got a bad fitting or you just haven't been fit before, that's when you're going to see those gains. But there's limitations to how fast that ball is going to come off the club face.
I mean, we're at the limit now.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. I mean, other manufacturers are changing the face completely. Where is that going to take off? From 2022 moving on. Yeah. Is that going to be a constant, or is this going to be a fling? I'm very interested to see that. I
mean, biggest thing is probably forgiveness, MOI. Off-center hits, we're seeing here. I didn't have a single one that was over 2,600 RPM spin. I didn't see anything that was really under 15, 16, unless I was trying with less loft or a lower spinning head. The consistency is there, regardless of where you hit on the face. I think that's the biggest thing you're seeing.
Yeah, so I think Callaway delivered in the forgiveness from Epic Max to the Rogue line. I think they delivered in ball speed retention across the face for players. And ultimately, fitting is required to figure out which head's going to be the best. Any other questions out there? I know we've been talking for a while now.
Yeah, let's get to a few questions here before we kind of finish up. And this has been a long video. It's been good. I know we've had a lot of viewers on, so we really appreciate everyone for jumping on and sending us your questions and comments and being loyal followers of our channel.
I got to bring one up from Rob S. Watch Danny just walk up and hit 170. I don't have that in the tank anymore. Probably could, but it's going hard left. But I appreciate the confidence there, Rob.
Yep. Question right above that. What do you guys think about the Graphite Design Tour AD IZ shaft? It's good. I mean, all the graphite stuff is good. I think it's a little softer feeling than, say, the I'm thinking XC shaft. There's so many different syllables. The XC shaft that I play. I think the DI, IZ are pretty similar. I think the DI is just a little bit higher launching. A little bit. But it kind of falls probably right in between those two, is what I would say.
I played the IZ 5X all summer, and I loved it. The reason why I had changed going to the Tenside Blue is because I need a different shaft profile due to the length that I was going into.
That's the other thing too, is you talk about 5X again. The IZ line, they have a lot. You got 40 gram, you got the R1, R2, and then they got all the way up to the 7X. So it really depends on the shaft profile as well, and the weight there too. But it's love my Graphite Design stuff. What irons does Thomas play? Yep, I play the TCBs, the Callaway TCB irons. What spin numbers are you trying for when you are fitting yourself others? The sim algorithms seem to favor high launch, low spin, but for playability on course, don't you want 2,400 RPM to spin? I mean, it depends on how the player delivers. I love this question. Chris, thanks so much for jumping on here too. And Chris X here, he actually's been on a live fitting with us before a couple of times. Yeah, so some people can't get 2,400 spin.
No.
I would need probably 11 degrees of loft on my driver, or I'd need to change my attack angle to get 2,400 RPM to spin.
Yeah, for sure. And ultimately, it's, do you want distance or do you want more fairways hit? Yeah. If we're talking distance, then we're going to kill spin. If we're going to find more fairways, we're going to add spin. Yeah. So it's ultimately due to the player's needs on what do you want out of the driver, performance-wise. Yeah, I mean, 2,400, it's a great number. It's a good baseline. It's a great number to be at to try and get the best of both worlds. Yeah. Consistency, straightness, and also distance as well. Yeah. I think 24 is a great. I think. I always say 2,000 to 3,000, but really I'm trying to get someone close to 22 to 26. It's kind of getting greedy. Getting greedy there. Yep. But as I mentioned, there's so much that goes into it because if
you have an attack angle like I do, I think I'm looking at my spin numbers here. We're ranging on average 1900 to 2400. I would need more loft on the driver, and it would be. I mean, I'm hitting 124, 122, 126 feet in the air.
I don't want to throw more.
I don't want to go any higher than that.
No.
We didn't talk about that landing angle number there either. Landing angle 30 to 40 degrees kind of thing.
Yep.
But once again, if that spin's low, you have a high launch, low spin.
Right.
You can get a little greedier there.
Yeah. I would say if the launch is 15 and up, I would say you can get away with kind of having that spin knuckle a little bit under $2,000. Once the launch comes into that 12 to kind of 14, I would say that's when that spin might want to see that move up at least into the 2,000 range, so 2 to 25, somewhere in there.
I got a question here. How much do you guys charge for youth lessons? Are the same as adult? We actually don't do lessons at Second Swing.
Right.
Club fitting is free with purchase, regardless of whether you're a youth, whether you're male, female, it doesn't matter. As long as you're purchasing something with us, the club fitting is going to be free. I'd like to see a what's in the bag for everyone. I think we started posting a couple of what's in the bags here. We've shot those videos, so they'll be coming out here soon. I know Jackie's just went up recently.
Yeah. The video we did with my favorite fitting combinations, I actually had a gentleman in yesterday that said, I want that combination. So we did ZX5, ZX7 combo, pin glide wedges, and it worked perfectly, almost like a recipe. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Chris followed up here. I can't get less than 2K spin to save my life. It's
a good thing.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Yeah. It's harder to control.
Yeah.
You gotta match your club path and face angle up with. You know, I play professionally.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting offline, it can go even further offline. And one thing I did do, my worst round of the year, I was literally hitting an OB on a wide open golf course, is I went down loft, thinking I can chase more spin, but my miss hits were just like
more sporadic.
With not much spin on the ball, they just kept going kind of thing.
Yep.
And I got to a point, actually, I put my driver up to 10. I hit the thing the straightest I've ever hit in my life. It was just like balloon dead straight every single time, and I found obviously 9 is good. So depends on how well you're delivering the club. Yeah. If that face angle is square to your path, it's a good chance it's going to go straight with less spin. But more curve on that ball with less spin ain't a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even if combined with a high launch, I mean, if you're purely looking at distance, high launch, low spin is going to be winner.
Yeah.
Just know that when you don't hit it straight, it's going to go further offline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
With Apex UW using wood shafts, any thoughts on feel difference between the hybrid versus wood shafts or the same model, Ventus Blue or Black? Now, I haven't hit the Ventus Blue or Black with both of them. I love the Apex UW though. I think that's a unique golf club.
Yeah.
Between a hybrid and a wood shaft, any difference if you're talking about, say, Ventus Blue or Black? I mean, a shorter golf shaft is going to feel stiffer.
Correct.
It's going to play a lot stiffer.
Yeah.
So you're talking about cutting.
The blue and black is two completely different profiles.
Yeah.
Too. So that's going to change the feel. I would kind of worry a little bit about the UW putting a Ventus Black in. Very, very low spin shaft, very, very low spin head.
Yeah.
If you don't get it up, you're in big trouble. So.
I mean, maybe if you spin it at 5,000 RPMs.
Off the tee would be a bomber.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That thing, I don't think the Apex UW has got enough looks. I mean, we've done a couple of testing things now, and
we got to do more.
It's a sneaky good golf club.
Yeah.
Best driver for around 18 handicap. I'm gonna not say a manufacturer. I'm gonna say, once again, so player dependent, but probably more loft.
Yep. 100%.
More loft to keep the ball in the fairway.
And adjustability.
Yep.
Proper weighted shaft, proper length shaft to get you into the middle.
Yep.
Good recipe.
Yep. What do you think of the airspeeder shafts? The light, longer. They're designed specifically for the kind of that head weight to complement the head weight. I'm thinking, say, Titleist, for example.
Yeah.
Once again, I can't hit it. I can't control the face with it.
Same. I've had kind of I haven't had a whole lot of success with that airspeeder in there, to be honest, because it's too light. But overall, I think it's player dependent. Some players could gain a boost, some might not. It's all about strike location.
Got it. All right, one last question to answer, and then we're going to jump off here. What is considered a high peak height with the driver? I think more landing angle. You think it's over 40 with the landing angle?
I would say it's more landing angle based than height.
Because if you're swinging at 70 miles an hour versus 110 miles an hour, the height's going to be completely different.
Yeah. I would say try and keep it under 40 or 45 at the absolute highest. And even that's dramatically high. So.
Cool. Well, this was fun, Danny. I love having you on here today. I think this is great, testing Callaway Rogue ST versus previous models, and then just diving deep into fitting conversations, because we could talk about fitting stuff all day. There's just so much that goes into it. It's always player dependent, so that's probably the most important thing to take away here is when you're coming in for a fitting, what your buddy has got in the bag or what you got in the bag, it could be completely different. Cool. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll be back next week here, Thursday, 10 a.m. If you are on this watching right now and you're not subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe. Send us some comments. Let us know what you want to see in the next video.